Alright, on to chapter 5, and we're going to start with problem 6. Problem 6 is a simple distance vector problem. So they say to refer to the network at 512a. That's actually page 375. And if you look at page 375, it has a network that looks something like this. Here, 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 and it's connected like, so this is an awful drawing, and then cross connected here. And this is A, B, C, D, E, and F. The network diagram has some costs in there, but the problem actually changes the cost. So let's just look at this and see with the new costs what it is. So the local, and this is all reference the node C, and the question specifically is that figure. Distance routing is used, and the following vectors have just come into the router C. From B, you get 5, 0, 8, 12, 6, and 2. So 5, 0, 8, 12, 8, 12, 6, and 2. From D, you get 16, 12, 6, 0, 9, and 10. So from D, you get 16, 12, 6, 0, 9, and 10. 6, 0, 9, 10. Notice that B has a cost of 0 to go to itself, and D has a cost of 0 to go to itself. And then from E, you get 7, 6, 3. 9, 0, 4. And E goes to itself. So now it tells you that the cost from C to B, D, and E, so C from B, D, and E, and we'll just fill these in on the graph, is 6, 3 goes to D, and E is 5. So that's the state of the information in the question. So it wants to know what C's new routing table is. Give both outgoing line to use and the cost. So there's not a lot to this question, actually. So the information from the question is this. So C receives B, and so C adds its known local cost to B. So the local cost to B is 6. So that changes B to 11, 6, 14, 18, 12, and 8. You're simply adding this 6 to the vector that was given. D, the cost to D is 3, so we go through and add those. And you get 19, 15, 9, 3, 12, and 13. And the cost to E is 5, so we add that 5 in to the vector given. And that is 12, 11, 8, 14, 5, and 9. So now we have the distances to all of them. And if you get the minimum for each of these, so just divide them out in minimum, your costs are going to be 11, 6, obviously 0 for itself, 3, 5, and 8. We're simply taking the minimum out of all of those. And then what are routes, right? So 11 came from B. 6 is also B because it's a direct link. There's nothing in C because we're not routing anywhere. D is a direct link, so we go to everything to D goes to D. E is a direct length, and obviously, I mean, there are other routes to get there, but notice that E is and then obviously for the last one we take 8, and it came from B, and this becomes, here is our routes and here's our costs. So number 7 is simply just asking basically the cost, what it takes to exchange, the cost of network terms, of what it takes to exchange routing tables. So let's take a look at that. So from the question, we have, if costs are recorded as 8-bit numbers in a 50 router network, the distance vectors are exchanged twice a second, how much bandwidth per full duplex line is chewed up by the distributed routing algorithm? So this shouldn't be too complicated, right? It is take it right out of the problem. We have 8-bit, which happens to be not bit, 8-bit per entry, and there are 50 entries. So what does that give us? Well, 50 entries times 8 bits is 400 bits. And now we are exchanging these things across a line at twice per second. Oh well, so we do 2 times that, right? And so now we have 800 bits per second to get across the line. So really what it comes down to is we just have that 800 bits per second is required, and it's required in each direction because the routers are talking to each other. So it's a full duplex line, so we can talk in both directions at the same time. So 800 bits per second in each direction is the answer. All right, here is our graph that was found inside the book, and let's go take a look at what it takes for reverse path forwarding. So So in the first round, B sends out packets to its direct connections. So that is A and C. So in round one, we send to A and C, and also notice that A and C are on the sync tree, which is conveniently shown to you in the graph right next to this. So in round two, we now have packets at A and C. So A and C are going to forward out to everybody that it didn't come from. So A sends to D and F, and C sends to I, J. All of those are also on the sync tree. So round three, D sends to G, H, I, and F. So a little before it gets complicated, we're going to do, obviously we're going to do D, F, I, and J from the previous round. So D sends to G, H, and I. So D sends to G, H, I. I has already been seen, it's not on the sync tree. So F sends to H and K. And K is on the sync tree. And then I sends to D and J. And J sends to E, I, and N. And E and N in this case from the sync tree. In round four, G sends to L. G sends to L. H to EFO. K to L, which is on the sync tree. E to H. And N to M and O. It was on the sync tree. In round five, L sends to GM, M to L, and O to H. Right, and then everything has been sent out. So, and so it takes 5 rounds to complete. And 28 packets. So 5 rounds, 28 packets. For part B of the question, you can just look at the graph, but it take for the sync tree that's sitting right next to this graph, and it's 4 rounds, and I believe 14 packets. All right. This is one of those questions that you really kind of hate to grade because there's many answers, but really what you're looking for is something pretty simple. So they give you this network, and then they go through and tell you this network, and then right after that they tell you that, well, we're going to have a group that doesn't include everything in this network. So let's go and take care of that first. So it says the group contains members A, B, C, D, E, F, I, and K. So that is A, B, C, D, E, F, I, and K. All right. Well, So then the question then becomes, what does it not contain? Well, it does not contain H. It does not contain G. And does not contain L. Right? It also doesn't contain J. So now we have A, B, C, D, E, F, I, and K. So, all right. So now we have this network that contains all these. Well, the ones that are completely cut out, right? We can get rid of their connections as well. So let's get rid of this connection. Get rid of this connection. Let's keep I for right now. But since L is out of this connection to D, well, we could still get there for that. But all okay. So now let's get rid of that. And so now change colors here. Now we have a network that looks something close to this. Oh, no. Yeah, I guess it could. So we're going to calculate a spanning tree for router C, right? So router C, let's just start with that. Router C here. Well, router C directly goes to B, and it directly goes to D. Then B, we have K here. And so K is in the network, and so we have two routes to B to K. We can go through D or B. So this is just closer. So for the ease of drawing, let's just put it there. And B can go to A, right? And so D also can go over here to F. Now the question is, where can we get from F and K? Well, we can get or A, F, and K. A is pretty much dead unless we're going to go back to B, so we don't have to worry about it anymore. K can get to I, even though J is not in the network, it can still get to I, right? And that's through J. And then F can get to E. It's not the only solution for the spanning tree, but it is one solution, and that's about how you go about it.